All right. Yes, guys. Okay. Good evening to everybody who's joined in. Greetings from PhD 101 to everybody who's on board here. And I've just started the YouTube live stream as well. So great, guys. Yeah. So to put things first in perspective here, PhD 101 Rendezvous series is basically to capture the stories of people who've tried the unconventional routes. Now, when I talk about unconventionality, what hit my mind is people who've not done different things, uh, not just done different things, but also try to do things differently in the existing fashion, right? So it gives me immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Ayapraj and Dr. Siddharth Tyagarajan to the panel today, and we would be discussing about their journey behind DENSYNC. So yes, guys, quickly, I think we can start off with the session. Uh, we would be having students joining in because it's a Saturday evening. It's Oral Health Day. People have been
Totally
listening.
understandable.
People have been listening from the morning. So much of dentistry that they don't want to be talking about dentistry. But guys, for everyone who's watching us right now, let me tell you that we're not going to be talking about teeth and gums and periodontitis. No, absolutely not. We're going to be talking about how two of the best friends have actually worked their way and identified and built an app which is the first of its kind entirely for dentists and made by the dentists. Now that was something, when I first heard of DENSYNC and I worked this out, and they've been working so hard since a very long time. What really fascinated me was the ideating process, and today I'm here, trying to discover the process behind it and share with everybody here. So just so that we know, that amazing people are doing amazing things in various parts of our fraternity, and this just gives us an opportunity to welcome both to the panel. So welcome, guys, to the Rendezvous series. Yes, your opening remarks, please.
Okay, so good evening to everyone. Oh, you want to go first, Sidhu?
No, you go.
Okay, so I am Dr. Ayapraj. So everyone calls me Apu. So me and Sidhu, we studied UG together at Ramchandra. And then I did my MDS at Ragas. So right now I'm working in Raga as an associate professor. And also I'm a full-time dad for a 2-year-old kid. Her name's Rhea. So yeah. Sidhu?
That's good. Yes, Sidhu. Yeah. I think you can go ahead and
sure.
Introduce yourself, please.
Good evening, everyone. It's a very good Saturday evening. Good to see you all. My name is Dr. Siddharth. I am, as Apu introduced me earlier, like we studied at Ramachandra, did our bachelor's degree, and after finishing dentistry, Apu went on to do his master's in community dentistry in Ragas, and I went off to do my master's in public health. I have finished my master's in public health. I'm currently working with the National Health Mission Tamil Nadu as a state public health consultant, and I'm also quite involved in the DENSYNC app as well. So, yeah, Apu, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I'm good. So, do you want to ask the questions, DENSYNC?
Okay.
Let's get to the
first. Okay.
Yeah.
Ground rules. Okay.
Okay.
Between the two of you guys. Okay. Let's have some fun here. Quickly, let me just break the ice with our participants here. They happen to be a mixed group. Anybody here at any point of time, you guys want to chip in, say anything, please feel free to use the chat box. Okay. And also do let us know if you want to share your thoughts, if you want to give out some trivia or anything. If you know the speakers personally, again, we'll be really very happy to get some information, from that direction. So yes. Okay, so without getting Raj and Sidhu into trouble, let's start this session of Rendezvous series. Okay, now for everybody who's joined in today and who's watching, right? You all have been probably amazed by the whole idea of DENSYNC. Now, DENSYNC as an application, as a mobile application, right, has got a lot of features what all of us are familiar with, right? So we'd like to know what's your story, guys? Like, how did y'all think of this idea? When did it exactly happen? And yes,
yeah. So I have been the backbencher, a laid-back backbencher, and Sidhu has been always a studious one. So he gets all the concepts right. And the thing about backbenchers it's just that they don't participate. Apart from that, there's not much of a difference. So whenever I want to learn a concept, okay, so I would actually forgot the basics. So you ask a staff a basic, and the staff would be like, so don't you know this? Or probably like they'll ask you to stand and then be like, okay, fine. So tell me what you know. And then again, you'll be like, okay. So I don't get up in class. And I prefer audiobooks rather than reading books. So my go-to guy was Siddharth. So I go to Siddharth, and certain concept which he doesn't know, I go to my seniors and PGs for like, to know a better concept and about understanding how it goes on. So this is the first thing. So now I understood what peer mentoring is. But once I went to PG, it was a little bit like difficult with Sidhu not being around. Yeah. So then I thought, okay, fine. I wanted all the notes, everything in one app. So I was thinking like what to do about it. So right now, the whole thing about peer mentoring was there in my head. I wanted to like learn things instead of reading things. And I wanted to get all the notes from my seniors, juniors, everyone. So yeah. So that's why we thought, okay, fine, let's have an app.
Okay. So that's how you ideated on this whole process, that, okay, let's have a one place where you could go to, right?
Yeah.
So from just idea, I mean, see, guys, I mean, let's be very fair and square in this. A lot of us have a lot of amazing ideas, all right? But then ideating process is a big deal. But then putting that into paper and executing. When did you all decide that you would want to have a mobile app for this? I mean, you could have stopped at a website, you could have stopped at a Facebook page, you could have stopped at maybe a YouTube channel. When did the idea of an application come into your? Yeah.
As of everyone knows, website, no one goes on Google and types a website and then like checks out what they want to do. It's always simpler if you have an app. And after finishing BDS, you need a lot of skills. So, and everyone knows that they don't have all the skills to have a clinic. So right now, networking comes into place. You need to know people from your college, but the problem is people from your college wouldn't be having clinics around your house or in your vicinity. So you need to know the new person, but who's going to go and like, talk for you? Recommendation letters don't that much like, have a priority when it comes to clinical assessment. So you have to go there and then like be like a third person. So this networking, I had a problem with. So I just thought that, okay, fine, I want all the knowledge and networking in one app, something like dentistry in your hand.
Okay. Yeah, Sidhu. So what are your thoughts on that? When did you
like what Apu told? Yes, it was actually a couple of years back in 2017 when we decided to go for an app rather than a website. The idea behind going in for an app is that your app can be loaded up in your mobile phone. It's in your hand. It's in the palm. You take your mobile phone everywhere, and of course, people take it to the loo as well nowadays. So your mobile phone is always accessible, and we wanted the information related to dentistry accessible to everyone anytime in the palm of their hands. That's the whole idea behind developing an app rather than going in for a website platform. And of course, the go-to place now is like, as you could see, we in 2017 we didn't realize the trend is going to be app in the future, but as we could, as you could see now, people tend to use more apps for all their daily. Even for banking, they're using an app. For navigating through their every day, they are dependent on the app right now. So I think we started off at a good platform, and then now we are doing pretty well on that footing. Okay. Yeah.
Right. I think that was. I think to put it this way, it was the quite obvious thing to do, guys. Right? If you wanted to provide.
Yes.
Thing. Okay. Now coming to my second question.
Yeah.
If that's the case, there have been apps for quite some time, right? For quite some time, it's not like the sudden explosion of it. But what are the technical issues or technicalities of trying to condense a profession like dentistry? Okay, if you want to provide all of dentistry in one single app with various portals, as information seeking, as maybe networking, as a student probably looking for resources, how did you plan to fit all of these things into the features of the app? So could you just shed some light on that?
Okay, so the idea started somewhere around like 2011, 2012, when we finished our dentistry. So we basically wanted to build a support system. So we did try all the social media platforms, and we did try the messenger apps like WhatsApp. But the problem with those apps and like, all the social media is that everything goes into a repository. So for example, 6 months back, if I have a notes and which I know that, okay, I need the notes, it's not organized. And WhatsApp, everything, it is like too much of spam when you go into a group messaging board. You go into a forum or you have a group messages, and the reach for the group message would be only your friends. If there are a lot many people who are not your friends, then the activity becomes reduced.
True, true. Right, right. So I think what the existing portals did offer was probably dentistry getting lost among all of these things. Like if you look at the basic nature
Everything
of
was
it,
diluted. Yes.
correct, right? So if I'm scrolling down, I would be wanting to see pictures of my friends partying, social circles, everything which is related to my personal life. All right. I don't want midline diastema and pre-post orthodontic treatment to appear in between. Right.
And the
So
main thing is, I didn't want my relations to know I had so many questions than answers as a dentist. If I'm using Facebook, they would be like, why is this guy seeing so many, why is the guy asking so many questions rather than answering? So is he not experienced?
okay, okay, great, great. All right. So that's how you guys bring this up. All right. So
We did try like other medical apps as well, but the priority which is given for dentistry was pretty low. So we were part of a big app, but they didn't realize that we are big enough to be an app.
okay. Now coming to my next question, which is related to how you're classified the features, right? Now everybody who goes on to DENSYNC would either have to register as a student or as an academician or as a practitioner, right? That fits in one of the molds, which covers the entire fraternity. How did you all decide to balance between all of these things, right? Because how many social networking sites are successful, which have everybody on right? Probably some of the students wouldn't be comfortable because their teachers are there. We've had instances where they block each other, and it really happens. Like, I would want to be in my own halo. Like, how did you break this barrier? Because a lot of students would be hesitant. This is a regular thing, right? So how did you make sure that division is clear and there's no overlapping of any one segment to another segment? So how did you build on that?
Okay, there's a little difference between like other social media apps and DENSYNC. The first thing is everyone's post, okay, the user has the ability to maybe probably show to everyone or only to his followers, that is his friends. So you have an option while you're posting which says public or private. If you choose private, okay, even if it's there in your feed, only your friend can see it. It's the other way around in other social media apps. Okay, so if you want to message someone, you need to be the friend. Otherwise, it's just like a messaging board or a forum. And then, like you said, I don't want to wake up and then look at a crude case of dentistry. So we segregated it into like feeds, that is your articles and news and everything. And then if you prefer, okay, then you can click on the cases and check out what other people have actually posted, all the repositories. So this, okay, the students can maintain their own group without involving staffs if they want to post something private, or if they want to involve staffs, they can put everything in public mode.
Okay, all right. So I think the privacy settings was something which I wasn't that aware of. I think this is pretty much taken care of. Raj, what do you say? Now I have a question for Siddharth. Now how did you manage? Like, see, building an app requires enormous amount of technical expertise and everything. So how was it at the beginning? Like, how did you put your team together, and who did you hire, or where did you go to? Because all of us, yes, we do quote unquote specialize in teeth and whatever experiential knowledge is there, but you need professionals to do this. So how did you navigate through this process of actually setting up something which is up to the mark and professionally delivered with that level of expertise?
Yes, we had an idea, as you all know. To bring the idea to light, we had a lot of hiccups initially. I would say, like, we were going through a lot of developers. We had conversations with a lot of people with technical knowledge and background to understand what we are getting into first before we started developing or designing the whole idea. So what I would we had a right team at the right time, at the right place. So to kickstart this app. So we were able to find the right developers. We had a right internal team, myself, Apu, and we also had another friend who supported Dr. Walid as well. So all three together, we sat, we discussed, we developed the scope of the app, and after we developed the scope of the app, we went to took it to a lot of developers. We had a talk with them. We went to our relatives, we went to our peers and other colleagues who are working at IT related uh, IT related industry. So we went to them, we showed them our app, shared our ideas. We slowly built up on it. We thought what is will be good for the dentist, what will not be good for the dentist, and we didn't want it. See, the whole idea about DENSYNC is developed by DENSYNC. So of course, we didn't want it to be from a perspective of an IT person. So we wanted it to be from a perspective of a dentist. When I'm using it, I want this app to be quite comfortable and convenient for dentists to use. So that is the reason why we had to go through a lot of obstacles before we actually get started it. And once we started it off, it wasn't a smooth ride as well. So we had some bumps here and there, but eventually we got there comfortably. Yeah, now we're good. Apu
Okay.
will be saying, Apu, we call him the architect, okay, like in the Matrix movie thing. So he was the one who designed each and every intricacy in the app. Right now, he even learned that was designing himself. He went and sat in CorelDRAW. He used Photoshop, learned to design the user interfaces. We tried out different user interfaces before we finalized on one. We started out with little color patterns. Well, I was quite surprised that how much detail you need to know before you even design a small panel and how much work it involves to just push a button to work. So much of coding, so much of work. All thanks to our team, all thanks to who supported us through this journey, we were able to come all the way here.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think Siddharth, that's very well told, because I think we all need to get out of our comfort zones and learning something new. Of course, there is the enthusiasm, just because we are unaware of that, and a lot of self-learning, as you described what Apu did and what you've done, and the whole team which is put forward this. So great job on that, guys. I mean, because building up an app again, hiring people to do this is one thing, but doing it yourself, being a part of the evolutionary process of building on it and resulting in what it was. So it's been three. This would be the fourth year, right, of the whole process.
Yes,
So yes, all
We
right,
just
it
wanted to
was
build a
quite a
product that
different.
we want to use, or any dentist would want to use.
what do you use?
And then we did try like investors and everyone, but there was quite a lot of hiccups. For example, first thing, no one's going to believe a dentist and then like put their money on top of it, and you're just a graduate, so dental graduate, and
I'll tell
then
you, Raj, that's because the world perceives that dentists themselves make a lot of money. So they're like, why do we fund these buggers?
so when you go to an investor, okay, they are more interested in like doctors because of the pharma company's involvement for the marketing and everything. So and then they feel that dentists don't have that much of revenue. And the principle of DENSYNC is the main thing which turned us down from all the investors was the app is free. There is no subscription model. There's nothing. It's just an app. It's going to help dentists. And they are like, we are businessmen, not philanthropists.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were like, let's do it.
That's also right. Maybe that's why in certain contexts, anything which goes for free tends to be undervalued than what it's actually worth. So that's the thing. Okay. So moving on to questions. I mean, I've got a peculiar question related to the content development. I would like Raj to pick on this. How do you ensure that content is continuously available on the app, like, because it's a user driven model, like the way we see it?
It's a
Okay.
dentist driven model.
It's a dentist driven
Pure
model,
model.
right?
Yeah.
So if I am as a student, or I as an educator, or as a practitioner would post relevant content, how would you number one monitor this in terms of what are you building on, because you need to have, even if it's a repository, you need to have segregations into that. And second thing is, how do you keep it robust? Like, there could be a saturation of a certain kind of material, or there could be directional, I would say, something like, what keeps the content going more robust and more balanced or equipoised? I would have put that.
Okay, so basically we have team of students, and then whole DENSYNC is mostly run by students. Students verification, and then you give them the power, or you empower students, and definitely they'll do a good job. That's what we learned. So we give dentistry to students, and they can do whatever they want with this, except for the only fact that you have to be professional on it. You can earn, you can even market anything. And then the policies for DENSYNC is like, you provide us free education material and we market you for free. And I think that principle actually works. And students, they come up with new ideas, right? Instead of like, having this competition and that competition, we get what trend they are into. And then we ask them like, okay, just do what appeals to you. And then we have a main admin, and then he actually monitors everything for all the content. And the contents are not exactly validated. So we just check for any red flags, that's all.
Okay, right. I mean, that's very well said, Raj, because I think it's time we started placing dental students at the heart of dentistry, because that's something which is to a great extent not predictable. And along with that comes that renewed enthusiasm, because every batch of students has got, I mean, you're never going to run short of talent, because, I mean, let's admit this, I don't know how dentists are, when they get into dentistry, are they talented, or is it dentistry which makes them talented? I don't know the causal association here, but we see that they come from a fairly, levels of IQ, which helps them do things, and they make better sense of information. Like, I mean, we've seen students from many colleges in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and everywhere where DENSYNC is spreading now, pan India. So I think that is what is really the heart of it. Like, because it's driven by students, by their content and what they think. It's the most liberalized way of putting forward this, right? So that's the thing. So I think monitoring, like you mentioned, this thing. Yeah, Sidhu, please.
Then just wanted to add something to that. Of course, Apu was saying about what is actually happening right now. I just wanted to add a couple of points. Going forward, what we are strategizing about the content development is that we are actually we have assembled a team. The team will be looking up onto the internet and all other sources, mostly published on the scientific sources only, and then they will be developing contents based on that. So those contents that are critical and essential for both a developing and an established test, which is needed. So what we are doing is we're planning a team. We are asking them to develop these materials, and they will be sharing in the platform going forward from today. So you can expect to see more information about dental related stuff, and also we've also chipped in a COVID related stuff as well. So most probably you will find more information that is available in this particular platform in dental DENSYNC, rather than going in to different sources. So mostly scientific and scientific information which has been published in accredited journals. That's what our focus is going to be from going forward.
Okay, that's really
that will be pushed.
That's really excellent, man.
Yeah. So the information that
added point of information.
Yeah, the information that all our users that will be giving from the admin side will be highly credible and well moderated as well. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I mean, that's really, I think it pretty much makes sense, and all of that what you've mentioned, right? So yeah, Sidhu, I think in terms of content generation and putting together people to make it grow on itself, right? I mean, that's what you're looking at. You want essentially DENSYNC to grow on
that
itself.
Is the prime, yeah.
Right, and nurture.
That is the primary goal, that will be like nurturing it themselves. In addition to that, information that is actually not available, that needs to be for critical information that is required at this particular point of time, will be pushed into this. Yeah. So, and again, they have an option to opt out of it as well. So that we have developed a page for critical dental information and COVID information. So for in that, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. Moving on, I have one honest question, guys. Did you guys know that COVID was about to come?
Not at all, not at all. COVID was like really testing times.
Like,
Just
were
like
you like, somewhere down in the bunkers and working on an app that probably the world would be struck by a pandemic and people would rely on their mobile phones for all the more reasons and then look out at each. I mean that's.
yeah. So
I mean, on a
COVID,
serious note, how did DENSYNC fit into the post-COVID situation? Like, because teaching and learning changed, right? So, how did you all bring it out?
COVID was pretty unexpected and hard time for a lot of us. So unfortunately or fortunately, we kind of made through it, and our hearts go out to those who were in distress or still in distress. So as of teaching and learning, the main difficulty which I had was Zoom classes. So you lose the connect with students.
Yes.
Yeah, but the thing is that with DENSYNC, there's one plus point which I had. I was giving them PPTs and notes and all the references through it that people can actually go through it the previous day. So there's one feature called My Uni in DENSYNC. So what that feature does is it connects your own college staffs and students department wise. So other colleges can't see it. So whatever happens in your college just happens in your college. So people can actually interact with staffs. So once you start putting PPT or learning content on it, okay, students definitely have some doubt or the other. So they start discussion. So it goes on. So it basically means in a class, you have restricted concentration, but when you use your phone, by default, you have more concentration on your phone.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Okay. So, coming to the various aspects, Raj, about conceiving DENSYNC and bringing this forward, what was really important for you, like in terms of objectives? Was it to bring all dentists onto one panel, everybody related to the dental fraternity? Was it networking, which was one of the prime objectives? Or was it just connecting and exchanging and creating information? Like, when you set this out, like, of course, only when you network, you can in turn make bigger, crowds read more and educate more in more dynamic models. So what was important at the outset?
Once you finish dentistry, your UG, okay, you definitely need networking. You need a social connect, okay? And professional connection always is good rather than like regular casual connection. That's what I felt. So networking was given importance, but the whole point was students, they don't realize that unless and until they need it. It's like school. You don't realize that you need school, but you go to school. So dentistry is something like that. So once you start training them to actually share knowledge to their juniors or seniors, okay, then the interaction begins. It all has to start somewhere. And right now we are in the digital world. So everything's online, may it be downloading movies or even downloading books. So when all those things can come into an app, why not dentistry? And you have a whole environment to network, speak out your thoughts, your interests. So this just doesn't stand there. But the thing is that once you are in internship, okay, your profile becomes your resume to go and apply for clinics in DENSYNC.
Okay.
So we just, I don't know, we make the students lazy or we just give everything to them in the hand. But that's the whole point.
Got it. Yeah. So no, I mean, like you said, you give them an idea to work upon and build on their profile. So the clear advantages is they start early into seeing something of a resume before you step out of college. And for strange reasons, the art and science of dentistry is taught in colleges, but not the business and the networking part of it. I don't know why it's not a part of curriculum. I mean, we've had these discussions before as well. Maybe something revolutionary like an app or some legislation has to come and knock this over. And eventually, coming to the point is, networking, yes, propels you to do more amazing things. Reach out to far more people than you can actually do that, right? And when students are clearly equipped with this is like, they could build up their Insta profile. Like, you give them 2 weeks, they have a fabric to their Insta profile. Like they make it so much more personal and so much they curated like that. Okay, we take care and we build our Facebook profiles. I'm not sure how many of the students here are on LinkedIn. If you're this thing. So if you give them something like DENSYNC, I think you don't really have to tell them to use it, right? So how was it when people got onto the app? Because you did have a lot of students signing up for that. So what did they find interesting? What did they find boring? In student lingo and student terminologies. So what was their immediate feedback like?
Okay. First thing, students are actually secluded to one college to begin with. So with DENSYNC, they got to meet their peers from other colleges. Okay. Yeah. So they started interacting. So when you start interacting, there's an exchange of knowledge. So you know where you stand when compared to the people from other colleges, not just other colleges, but to other dentists. So once you compare, there's more option for you to grow more. It's like a healthy competition, not like a competition, but okay, this is what is happening around in the world. Okay, so let's do this.
Okay. So I think they would have loved the whole idea of getting onto something like this and putting this forward, right? All right. So I think when you look at this in the broader sense, the stakeholders would be students who would be driving progress. Like even Facebook was born out of a dormitory. When Mark did try to do something and network in his own university and all these things. Coming to a very funny question. If the need for networking is so huge, so rampant, I would say in dental terminologies, why hadn't anybody thought of it before?
That's exactly how I actually told you the whole answer for it. So people have thought about it, but we were turned on during the investor stages and other things. So what I thought was like what we decided, me and Sidhu decided was like, okay, fine. Let's at least pump in our part-time money from Australia. So I was a surf trainer over there and Sidhu was working in Radiant Smiles. I think that's the clinic's name. But he was also doing security jobs as well. and we are pumping him because we couldn't ask our classmates and our batchmates like invest in us or invest in something which won't give you return, but actually you'll have a good feel about it. And end of the day, yeah. But once money starts coming, that is like advertisement starts coming, and we get some monetization through advertisement, which we haven't thought right now. But that's the end goal of any app. Okay, that means dentistry has won. People have recognized that dentistry has had a potential. And dentists have potential.
Absolutely. I think I really like the way how you've put it at the end of it. So if DENSYNC flourishes like it is doing right now, and wishing Godspeed for that direction, in the end, dentistry would have actually won. I mean, and that gets more pragmatic in the way of saying that and actually believing that. So that's really beautiful of what you just shared right now, Raj. So I was coming to the point that could you tell us the time in Australia when y'all were working on these? Like, what were the days like, and what were the obstacles which you encountered? Of course, technical, you seeked out information, but then even to process things which you don't know does take time. So could you tell us more about the journey there and
okay,
how was it?
When I reached Australia, I finished my PG over here in public health dentistry. And Sidhu had finished his PG over there at Edith Cowan, at MPH. Yeah, and I joined for MHA over there. And I was there for very less time because I had to come back to India because of personal reasons. So right before coming to India, we had our friend Walid over here who was like organizing everything. So him meeting everyone and then like figuring out developers and designers, everything. So yeah, that's how the whole thing it went.
All right. Yeah, Sidhu, you want to add some instances from there and how he pestered you and say that let's not stop here and take this.
Okay, most of the time Sidhu thought that like I wasn't working. He thought I was going surfing.
So we initially
yeah, Sidhu, please, yeah.
We initially had this idea, and we thought it's one of his faces that Apu has. Apu has different faces actually. Like he is quite interested in surfing sometime, and he had a phase where he was skateboarding. So he had different faces in his life. When you, I mean, I know Apu for almost like 15 years now. So the past 15 years, I've seen so many faces of Apu, and I thought like this is one face that will go away. Okay, so we initially thought that. So Apu had this initial idea that lighted up. Again, the core idea was to develop a uh, networking portal for all dentists. So we were discussing it in Australia, and we didn't take it seriously. But once we started putting in more time and effort and thought, the idea has actually started to take shape. So, and then we communicated the idea back here to Walid. So, Walid was able to give in his inputs, and he was actually initially going and talking to his cousins who were like working in the IT sector. He actually thought that, oh, this will work, this will not work. So, we had these planning going on in Australia, which we came back from Australia and it started continuing here as well. And well, it actually took shape in a much better shape after we had back in India. We were able to personally go meet architects and developers and everyone, and then we were able to bring this into a proper shape. So yeah, it all started back in Australia. It was a small idea, which after discussing again and again and again and again and again, and then it came into a pretty good. The output was very good after that. Thanks, Apo. I thanks that I'm feeling happy that it doesn't go out as a face like other things. So it didn't face out. So that's good. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's really quite candidly put by Sidhu there, in a very expressive manner. All right. So coming to Sidhu, I mean you work in a very important position. You're a state public health consultant for the NHM government of Tamil Nadu, right? How do you alternate between the roles? And I mean, like the nature of work and this and that, like, I mean, that's also, different, I would say, faces of Sidhu that we're seeing here. How does it work,
Yeah.
Siddharth? Like,
To be honest with you, it's quite
Wait, wait,
difficult.
wait. Let me
Yeah.
give something before he speaks anything. So Sidhu got
Yeah,
married last year on March, okay, and then he still hasn't gone for his honeymoon, and he's still stuck to his job till now. And during COVID, he was in the hospital and not in the house.
okay.
So yeah, so this sums up what he was doing up to for the time being. Oh yeah, Sidhu, continue.
Yeah, Sidhu,
Yeah.
tell me
So
your
it's
version of it. I don't trust Raj on this.
okay. So it was quite difficult. Initially, I had some time. Once I came here, we came back from Australia. We had some time to settle up. So we had the opportunities to go meet, to liaise with everyone, and then it was time to look for a job. So I landed in a position as a state public health consultant. I was initially appointed as a national state consultant for National Oral Health Program uh, to plan and organize dental-related activities. So I was initially just started off with one program, and over a period of time, my scope of job developed. So initially, like during that phase, when I was taking care of just one program, that was oral health, I had so much of time with me. I was able to. My focus was like from 10 to 5 or 6, and after that 6 o'clock, I was able to put a lot of focus on that. And Apu used to come down from his house. Abu actually lives quite far from the city. So he comes down from there. We used to sit in coffee shops until 11 o'clock. And then after that, Walid used to come. Walid used to stay in the, like quite late with me. We used to sit in coffee shops. We used to sit in hotels, just order a coffee. And then as everyone does, like talk for hours and hours and hours, developing this idea. We take a laptop, sit, we worked in it, and we go meet the thing in the hours after the work hours. Like we met developers and all our other colleagues as well during that time. It was quite interesting journey that happened all this way, and then COVID happened, and as my scope increased, so and then I was actually um, I I was actually given the responsibility of taking care of all procurement and infrastructure related stuff in Tamil Nadu. So that itself is a huge job. And then COVID happened, and I was also put in charge of all these reporting. I was like in part of the team of the reporting and daily reporting for COVID and everything. So as the scope increased, my time got lessened up. First thing, my mission director called me and he's like, "Wish me for my marriage," and I was like, "When are you joining back? It's COVID starting." So it's like, you take your time, okay, but join back within 2 days. Yeah, that's what he told.
Uh,
So one day of my marriage. So I had just 1 week off after my marriage, and then I had to rush back to job. And since then, like it's been quite busy. But even though the work is hectic and everything, we were still able to manage. Apu was accessible through phone calls. We were able to do online video chats and everything. And then uh, I think before COVID started, DENSYNC came into very good shape, and we were actually communicating through DENSYNC a lot. He used to message, we used to text, and make calls through DENSYNC.
We
And
tested the
yeah,
app
pretty
as
much
well
we
in that.
stayed in connected. Yeah, we tested the app in that situation, and Walid was there. Walid actually, right before COVID, he left to Saudi. He got a position over there as a consultant, so he went to Saudi. So we were able to liaise with him over the app as well in Saudi. He's still there. So hopefully, like we are able to continue this. And as I told you, during this COVID time, networking through dancing helped a lot. So, yeah.
cool. Yes, I think that's really an awesome way of putting this on how you all put this forward. Now, guys,
Yeah.
what do you see the future ahead? Like, how do you plan to connect with students, faculty, and practitioners, because they are different cohorts in themselves? What are your plans? How to propel this forward? How to spread this infection? I would say, so that people get hooked onto it, and there's more engagement among the various groups. So,
It's pretty tricky. So
mhm,
one cohort has one specification.
hmm,
So what we do is, as I told you, DENSYNC is a dentist-driven app. So we get the input, and then we develop the features according to those inputs. So the last input which I had before input was like, we need a place to sell our old books. We need a place to sell our old typhodons.
okay.
So the students came up with that. So I was like, we can't have something like Amazon because the delivery system is pretty hard for us. Okay, as a startup and who can't actually invest on that. So we came up with this classified system where like a student connect with another student. He just has to put his old books, old things. If he's gonna vacate his hostel, he can put everything on DENSYNC Marketplace, and anyone who's interested can contact him directly, not through us. So
Okay.
so whatever it is, students connect with them directly.
Okay. Hmm.
And for dentists, all they want, I think what we could offer them is free marketing. That is to to portray their cases to other students. So basically the students will go and approach them for mentoring.
Okay.
So once they portray their skills, so students can approach them. So but catering to clinicians is a tricky part. But we ask them to to host some free webinars for students, so that we can host their events later on. So it goes like, you give us something knowledgeable and we'll go anywhere to help you out with it. So even a student from Kanyakumari can connect with student from Kashmir. So that it's sky's the limit. A student can earn, he can do whatever he wants with DENSYNC. And that's what we always say, dentistry in your palm or in your phone. When you have DENSYNC in your hand, you can be assured that okay, there's something which a dentist can do, or a student can do, or academician can do. And normally people leave off the academicians. Yeah, because
We're the boring. We're the boring of the time.
Yeah, but they are needed actually, right from the part of verifying students till motivating them and impressing them. It's the academicians part.
Come on, man! Like even in the app, you've made us the teacher with the ruler, like verify and like that's my personal, complaint. It's
I shall escalate this complaint to the development team and ask them to change it right away.
Well,
yeah.
then see, you have to accept that post-COVID situation, everyone are going into a more every university or college is adopting using learning management software. So you should know LMS is like the future.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
everyone, all the staff, the students are actually going into the online platform rather than a face-to-face class. So so then think we actually started at the right time. So we are able to build up a repository of information and as well as a structure which actually works for both the academicians and the students as well. So that you have to accept it.
True. True. Yes. Right, Siddharth. Like you mentioned, I think before the COVID pandemic, some of the schools had this LMS based on their self-necessitated need that they need to manage better. But I think now, I think since you're avoiding most of in the post-COVID world, there would always be a precarious way to do this, and that's one way we could actually integrate and put this forward. So, have you guys? Yeah, Raj. Yeah.
There's a difference between LMS and
Yeah,
DENSYNC.
there is.
Yeah, the people
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah. Of
students
course,
are
LMS is
students are aversive with LMS because
Yeah.
its attendance is recorded. No matter what happens, it goes on to your parents, and then whatever's there inside the college stays inside the college. Since there is no comparison, so we cancelled all these three things. So we hope that like we will have a better reach.
Yeah. So I think the freedom of expression is taken care of there. Absolutely.
And you can also have private posts that is like only to your friends.
Okay.
So you get your privacy covered as well.
Okay, great. All right. So what do you envision? Like, of course, you've been fairly. I mean, you've been very clear about your vision that you want industry to be more empowering, right in the palms of students and thing. The key features again being user driven, the utilities. You're like expanding. The example of marketplace, what you just mentioned. I could just sell off my dental pulse or typhos or anything of that sort. So essentially, because it's driven by dentists, I think all of these needs would be better incorporated, and they would continue to do this, right? Okay, maybe tomorrow another student would come up with something saying that I could have something like this and the app, and probably they could feature as well, like placements. And as of now, we have dental fraternity seeking out for a lot of information out. It's like fishing in the ocean, guys. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe Raj could tell us more about how you could surf and skateboard. But then, yes, you have a purpose of being given in the waters. But then dentistry is, frankly, the way I see it, we're lost. Like, we're lost in this because we've got the identity as a specialty per se, as a fraternity, but social positioning is very, very haphazard. So I see DENSYNC a lot to do with identity creation in the real world. So like they say, okay, finally, we have an app for dentists on one of my widgets in maybe the second or the third swipe on my mobile phone, but it's still there at least, right? So maybe we've reached there, and all that is there, to bring this forward. So yes, guys. So how would you want to, put forward? I mean, what are your closing thoughts on this and everything? Because it's a very emotive and a personal issue for everybody here, and we would be engaging with the students and the audience now. But before I go in there, like, what's on your mind, guys? Like, after having done this much, what are your plans ahead, and how you want to take this forward? Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead?
Yes, please. Yeah, Sidhu.
I'll go ahead first.
Yeah.
So we want to create an ecosystem, okay, and we did create an ecosystem, okay, and we're doing fine with that. So right now we want to promote peer-to-peer helping, and then like jobs and events and everything. So connecting students, okay, with all the dentists who have finished the leading generation. We call them the leading generation, the people who have completed dentistry, and the people who are about to complete dentistry, we call them the learning generation. So always there's going to be one interchange of knowledge between these two. So right now with DENSYNC, a student can earn money if he's smart, okay, or probably become an influencer or do whatever he wants. Like you said, it's an ocean, and DENSYNC is just a fishing rod.
Yeah, well said. I mean, yeah, Sidhu, what are your thoughts on? on the whole
Yep.
ecosystem, what
Well,
Raj is referring to. Yeah.
well, Apu put it in a nutshell. Like it was actually pretty clear and to the point what the essence of the app is all about. So nothing much more to have, but I just want to add just one more thing. Like, dentistry, it is time that that has come out of the shell. Okay, so dentistry is seen as equal as a medical profession because there is still this thought that goes about saying that dentists are not given that particular focus as much as medical profession does. But I think this app will take it to that next level. So I think we are striving. We not just work. This app is not just as a medium of a networking. It is networking post or anything. It is much more than that. It is for at dentistry actually. So we dedicate the whole app to dentistry. Hopefully you guys all download and use it. And if you have any comments, to let us know. We are evolving. We are getting better day by day, and hopefully we give you a very good experience using that.
We focus on changing the behavior of digital communication. So in
Absolutely.
turn, what eventually happens is you create value for each and every dentist.
True.
Yes.
Very well said, Raj, and Sidhu as well. I think what you guys, the way I see it is, y'all are accelerated towards digitizing the experience, exploring the various tenets of that.
Yes.
But essentially, you're humanizing the experience, right? You're putting in human elements, real people,
Yes.
real ideas, driven by dentists and dental students and everything. And this is a very major leap forward. Uh, Maybe it's going to tilt the balance someday. It's going to be disruptive. I mean, it is disruptive, guys. So you can't help it. I mean, that's the only thing which brings about change. You have to swim against these tides, and you have to, continuously roar against this. And then I talk about roaring in the waters again. Raj would come back there and chip in his thing, and that's the direction to go ahead and do this forward. So quickly, I just want to. Before I wrap this up and we have a Q&A with the participants, I'd like to just share my screen and just give everybody a run through about the various features of the app, and everybody could, just get into these things. So can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Great, right? Okay. So as I'm told, with a little bit of research I could do behind whatever Raj and Sidhu told me about all these things, DENSYNC comes from dentist synchronizing, right, guys? So that's how people have got these things. And when we look into that direction, right? So you have everything which is by dentist for dentist, right? So for all of the students, if you're looking for a case to discuss, you want to collaborate with other researchers, or even if you want to post an event, so you can go on and you can explore this, right? So if you have like a profile, you make sure your platform, what is given, right? It helps you achieve your entire potential. So it's curated in a very similar fashion, so that, I mean, you don't really feel it's alien once you're navigating through the app. So you know that essentially it's people. So like Raj told us, that it's something which I would want to use, right? To begin with, as a dental professional or as an educator or as a teacher, something which I would want to do. So I would want the things to appear in a certain way and fashion. So it is very personalized, right? Okay, between mentors and mentees in your own institution, and cross networking as well. So like the my uni app, which Raj just mentioned to us, right? You have students who are the learning generation and the academician who are the leading generations. So it essentially gives you a space to interact within your campus users. So you could bring out the best, you could plan events better, and especially once, when the barriers are breaking down, right? That has to accentuate our progress with faster speeds, with renewed speeds, and that's how we can network better and actually create and possibly, usher better in this situation. Now, for teachers, who are watching this and who will be able to do that, let me also tell you that they've got these department activity pages, right? For example, you can host for public and dentistry a postgraduate separate portal, or a department portal here, and actually make content where you can communicate efficiently with the student. announce anything important, like you're going to host a seminar, let's say tomorrow morning, and then you can have a Q&A session in discussions. Even your JCs and seminars, for most of our postgraduates here, they would probably reckon with this, that you can actually put in the topic. Okay, what are the topics you would want me to cover? And even your camp activities, and this is only for one specialty, guys. I mean, we are public health dentists, so it's obvious that Raj has put this forward, right? So you could do that according to your own specialty. Like if you're a periodontist, a pediodontist, or a medicine or a surgeon, you could do your pre and post-op treatments. So you can curate it better. So you can run your department better. You would know with a defined position and role that what are your duties. You can function with your colleagues and enhance your department's efficiency. Okay, so this really helps wonderfully in that way. Now for students, guys, I mean, this is, since it's essentially built around the requirements of students, very simply record cases, start discussion. You could share interesting articles. It's time that we get lost between random Insta and Facebook feeds, right? But you're going to share interesting articles related to dentistry, maybe a stem cell research, or maybe a new kind of a technique, oral cancer screening device. So you could put all these things, and the probability that since you are having concentrated time on your phone, so it's better to be in that frame. Okay, so once you log out of the app, your daily dose is done, right? Okay, we all go to Twitter. Okay, we all go to Twitter for a daily dose of information and what's trending and all these things. Those things could feature in your My Campus. So whatever is in My Campus, various departments, what's happening, you can also do that. And this really caters to students who want to make an impact with very high powered initiatives and who would want to do a lot of multitasking. So that's how we see it. So you got feeds, where content is there, announcements for examinations, things what you just want to look at it once and then push through this. And then you have cases where everything, people, a lot of clinicians would want to put this as pre and post, and maybe a sinus lift or any kind of cases with the specialty. And then even career hub. Okay, career and opportunities, if you're looking for all these things, you have categories, you have job types. You could look for, okay, if you're looking for an internship at a certain clinic, okay, at maybe an institute full-time, what is the expected salary, all of these things. So it makes it so much more easier that your probability is automatically enhanced, because like they say, Raj, very, very nicely put this, that yes, you are fishing in the ocean, but this, probability of actually, DENSYNC being the rod, which is helping you, manage all these things. And definitely there are a lot of events happening in the world of dentistry, various conferences and webinars. And when we get back to normal in the post-COVID situation, things will continue to happen. And they have been doing, when was the last time, that I had heard of a fantastic program that I just missed out? So you don't really miss out on anything, okay? Just because everything is available for you. So the probability of international and national delegations and conferences and CD programs, everything could be featured in these things. And apart from these things, you could, guys, create your own pages, right? If you want like a dental books page, or you want like a PhD page, or maybe specifically for first BDS, second BDS, exam discussions, all of that, okay? Your profile, like how, these guys mentioned here that, by the time you come to, your final year and internship, you would have built your own profile, okay? That's very important, because that acts as, your resume when you start this forward and you do these things, right? So all of those things, are seen and, eventually have been, seen in this direction. So I think case rooms specifically can be done. And this very important feature of networking, where you approve people who you'd want to sync. So it maintains the privacy borders. So if I'm a teacher, and let's say in Babaji Dental College, I have a couple of students who've logged on to this thing. So I could actually add them onto my friend list, and I can sync with them. And this facilitates ease of information. So that's how it goes. And that's actually this thing. So I think what gives credibility to a dentist is what you learn in college, right? So you can actually get in touch with a lot of certificate providing events and conferences. So you hone upon your skill. Second thing is your achievements, okay? If you've got successful patient cases, you want to tell the world about it, the awards, the honors. So, they actually help you display your achievements and discuss your cases. And also endorsements from credible organizations, right? So if you worked in certain organizations, maybe social community welfare, or even chain of clinics, so it helps you, improve your network skills. So for a dental practitioner, it really, tax upon all these things, and then you're able to do these things. So how do you showcase all of these things? DENSYNC simply, helps you build a promising resume. So set up your own repositories, your cases, your works and achievements. Essentially, it's you. Okay, it would reflect what you are made up of. Okay, so if you want to put a resume, you want to put up a PDF of that, everything. Okay, so I think this is, I really like the last line, Raj, about this. That it's absolutely free as long as you are a dentist at heart, right? So we have to prioritize the profession at the heart of everything, and then only able to get in these things. So guys, I think quickly go on. I think try this out. It's available on Google Play, right? Okay, put this down, verify your profiles. It'll be done in a couple of days, and eventually we'll take this forward, right? So how was my presentation, Rajan Sidhu?
Awesome. Straight to the point.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, it's what we are basically at the heart of, right? So and that's what we're looking for, and looking in that direction, and eventually trying to get this forward with this thing. Video, right? Okay, so I think
My wife created that.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, man. I think that's really beautiful. That little promo video which is there on YouTube, I was able to get that. So great work there, man. I think we should give credit to your
I
wife.
should tell her that. I will definitely tell her that.
Okay, so time for Q&A, guys. There you go. You've been listening to them and what exactly went behind all of these things. Quickly, if we can have questions from you guys, please do put forward your views here. I mean, use the chat box. Anybody would like to, any of the students, Raj, would you like to take this forward? Like, because I really don't know most of the audience. Any questions anybody would like to share their, even their experiences of using the apps? Any of the students here?
I think the conversation summed up everything, and all the doubts which they had, we actually explained everything. Probably the only doubt which they would be having is, why not use WhatsApp? Why do you have to use DENSYNC Messenger? So basically WhatsApp, the staff gets to know your number, and that's something like breachment of private space. So we even want to negate that and give them a proper channel to just concentrate on education and professional stuffs. So I guess that's the only thing which we didn't cover. Because I thought someone would ask me this. Why not WhatsApp? Why DENSYNC?
I think the easiest way is, I mean, WhatsApp wasn't built for dentists, right? I mean, essentially, if you're looking at that, right? I mean, of course, they have accustomed to the various models, and it's a need based economy. So the consumerism flows in that way. So now you have WhatsApp for business and Facebook for business. That's pretty normal. Like, why would they evolve on it? I mean, this is something, it's dentistry at the heart of it. Okay, so everything we would want it to stem out from here and then take this forward. Great. Okay, so let me just have a look at the audience here. If I could have anybody to share the views. Yes, Dr. Krishnapriya, I can see you there. Would you like to come on board? She's a faculty at a dental college in North India. Dr. Priya also is quite active. Yes, Dr. Priya.
Yeah. Hello, Dr. Raj and Dr.
Hello.
Siddharth. Yeah, you guys exist on the same planet like me, I doubt.
You definitely do.
That's amazing work. Actually, now I'm very immature at this level. Now coming to social media, I mean, even I didn't have a Facebook account until DENSYNC told me that I need to have one to see the post of this PhD 101. And when the whole discussion was going on, I could make out I have to learn a lot and I have to explore a lot. Coming to it,
that's where DENSYNC comes in and makes it all simpler. for
Yeah,
dentists.
yeah, and I need to explore a lot. Not like for people like me who confine themselves, no, like this is one platform I think where we need to explore about dentistry. I think this amazing work.
So me and Sidhu both are on DENSYNC. Just click on our profile and follow us. So we would connect with you, and then you can ask us questions whenever you wanna. So you're always available on the platform.
Sure, sure. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Priya, for sharing your views and experiences. Definitely, I think we're all here to learn and explore. I bumped into DENSYNC and Raj. I mean, this is just something which I want to share personally. In the COVID situation, when I was also fishing, and I was also in some other part of the ocean. Okay, I'm using the same metaphors here. So we were trying to build 101 PhD 101 and get with connectors. I mean, I was more invested in connecting teachers and using the portal. I was not so technologically driven. So I think that's when I bumped into Raj and got to know him, and then through him reached out to Sidhu, and this was waiting to happen for a very long time. Finally, I'm glad that this has happened and brought out in this direction. So like they say, I mean, we are all atoms with consciousness, right? So each of us somewhere would be in our own trajectories. We would be vibrating with our own synergies, and every one of the one who's here on board, a lot of students would be looking for. And the reason, honestly, why we wanted you guys is to show the world that yes, this is how things could be done. I mean, a lot of us think of ideas on papers, and a lot of students have come up with this idea as well. Have done some early work as well in this direction, building an app for dentistry. But then if you show them how it's done, probably they can push this forward and break barriers. And like you put this forward, right? This is a generation of people who are going to be leading the generation in future, right? So definitely, if something reaches out which is aspirational for them, they will pick on these and make their own ideas into awesome things. And that's what we are all here to do. So thank you so much for everybody. And quickly, I think if you could have anybody else, Raj, Sidhu, from a panel today who would like to chip in and say something.
I guess more than me and Sidhu, Denzi has been the one who's been fully using internet to the core. Making full use of it. And I really appreciate that, Denzi. Because
I mean,
he's been constant in getting all the events. And he always has something to offer DENSYNC. Hey, I have this event. I'm going to post this event. And that's consistency. That matters a lot. And that takes a lot of effort.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Hey, we have Dr. Vaishnavi who's just joined in here.
Hello, Doc.
Yes.
Sorry, I couldn't watch the whole thing. I've been having network issues.
Yeah. For the rest of the panel,
here and there.
Let me tell you that Dr. Vaishnavi is someone is the founder of Truth Comics. She is basically working in animation, and she does these beautiful illustrations. Where I would call it an alternate universe, Vaishnavi,
wow.
In which she functions. She has again, tried to do something different and put this forward. And she was very curious, to listen to you guys and put this forward. Yeah, Vaishnavi, please.
Yeah, Denzi just told me about this last week, and I joined. I went through the entire thing. I love the marketplace.
Wow, thank you.
And the books. I don't know how you got the PDFs for all those books.
Oh, we don't share any PDFs or anything. It's just the students. So we just design it in such a way that it is there in the content. We organize everything, but the content generators are all students. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the place to go for all dentists. Like you have everything there. So although I'm not practicing right now, I think for those who are practicing, it would be a perfect place to engage with other dentists and excel in their own careers.
DENSYNC is just for dentists. It may be practicing or you're not practicing, it doesn't matter. You have to be a dentist at heart, and whatever interests you, we would always request you to post it, display it, so you will have people who want you to be their mentors. So not everyone chooses clinical practice. Lot many people choose like Sidhu, MPH.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vaishnavi,
Other sectors. Go ahead.
Yeah, myself, I don't practice anymore, Vaishnavi. I used to practice, but whenever I jump into DENSYNC, I get to know what is actually going on in the field, and I keep tabs of things that is going on in dentistry. So I still kind of miss practicing, but yeah, DENSYNC just fills that whole a part of it actually. Yeah, you could check it out, try using it. Yeah,
that was what I was going to say. I feel the
yeah,
same.
yeah. Yeah, you will be able to. You'll be able to keep a tab on everything that's happening in the industry. You'll surely love it as you use it. Yeah. Thank you, Vaishnavi, for you.
Yeah. So guys, just a little bit, Vaishnavi is someone who, after her BDS, she went to UK and she pursued an MSc in dental public health, and she's gotten back. She works with a lot of teachers, teach for a cause, and she works, for companies where it's basically related to evaluation of teaching methods, right, Vaishnavi? I think, I don't know if I could describe this correctly.
Yeah, it's called SANTA. So it's assessment of teachers' professional progress. It's based in Bangalore.
Very much needed.
Sorry?
We very much need that assessment of all the teachers.
Assessment of teachers, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this, guys. After our MDS, like me, Raj would thing, and Priya also would this thing. I mean, you become a teacher by default, right? I mean, you learn things the hard way, and I'm sure Raj would relate to these things. The initial
Definitely.
Post MDS, what happens is, right? Nobody is teaching you educational methodology. What is lesson plan? Like, okay, whatever you've done for the exam, and they just assume that, okay, we are going to be good teachers, and just, and we learned it the hard way, man. I mean, probably if we had something what Vaishnavi is saying, who could teach us in engagement and assessment tools and formative methods and all of these things. So it's strange though, like, so many things which ought to be out there hasn't really happened. But I think in the end, it's about getting conversations going like this, right? See, we've got many people in turn, who's chipping in and saying these things. So it's really glad to have that.
It's like what they say. Yeah. It's like what they say. You learn only certain things in dental school. You have to come out to learn more about dentistry now. Yeah.
None of my batchmates would have ever thought I would be a associate professor. They were all shocked. Like, you? So I am now the Sidhu of my college. So I don't ask them to study. I would explain student n number of times if he doesn't understand, because hopefully keep this running. And I also request other batchmates of mine to do the same, and never to ask students questions. You just ask them what they want to learn from you. And on this World Oral Health Day, I really wish we start another campaign on saving Earth and, like, reducing plastic. So this was on random note, but I just thought that since we are concluding, I'll just let you know about that. So I thought that dentists should be, like, well equipped and educate their patients on using bamboo brushes as a start. Because they are actually as equal as, like, toothbrushes. And reduce the plastic waste. So this is a random thought for the day.
Yeah, that's something really
on
beautiful.
On a note of it, Tamil Nadu government has taken a policy that in dental clinics, government-run dental clinics, we are not going to use more plastic. We're going to use more recyclable items and stainless steel and everything. So that has been entered into oral health policy that has been developed, and you can still see in all government practices we're going to avoid less of plastic and more of recyclable and reusable items like glass, stainless steel, and other products.
All right, great.
So I guess someone has to start this thing. # dentist saves Earth.
Good, man. Good. I think we could do something in that direction. That's really something noble and something very relevant. What Raj made the point of how we need to go to renewable sources and reduce usage of plastic. Because dentistry as a source of profession, we do contribute a lot to waste in that sense. And something like bamboo brushes was a very good idea what you mentioned. And Sidhu, what you put across, what we're seeing it in Tamil Nadu, various initiatives have been done. That's really fantastic. So I think, yeah, let's spread this positivity around, and thank you all so much, guys, for doing this and putting this forward. We wanted something, honestly, guys, we hadn't planned out whatever we would be talking today. Right, Raj, like Sidhu, we was like, okay, we would be sitting in front of the laptop and just speaking out.
I wasn't sure Sidhu was going to get into the Zoom call because he was always busy. And he did.
He did. He sat through and he's there throughout. That's a major achievement.
Thank you. I would love to spend time for DENSYNC much more than what I'm actually currently doing now. I want to get more involved with DENSYNC in the coming future. Of course, there's a meeting happening in the hall right next to me. People coming, and I might have, if you would have noticed, I might have gone out of the video and came back. There's a meeting happening right next to my cabin, so most probably people are actually, I have to finish this and go join there now. Yeah. Anyways, thank you, Densi. Thank you very much for providing us the opportunity. To talk about DENSYNC, it's been a pleasure. And of course, thank you, Krishna, Priya ma'am, and Vaishnavi as well for putting their views on DENSYNC. And of course, it's always a joy working with Apu.
Yeah, but I miss spending time with him actually because of his work. Before it used to be like Sidhu chilling. So something like I go to Sidhu's place and his dad would be like, okay, fine, this guy is here to take my kid away. So
Great.
Yeah, okay. And thank you guys actually for giving us this opportunity. It was like a really awesome time which I had right now. And yeah.
So that brings us to the end of the session. Almost that's going to be a wrap. And any more questions, guys, students, feel free to reach us. Okay, the app DENSYNC will take you into this world of opportunities. And also do reach out to PhD 101, where we're doing public health dentistry. If you want any updates, all that is there. So of course we don't have an app as of now, but I think it's there on DENSYNC, so it's fine.
You could use DENSYNC.
Yeah,
no, he does have a page on DENSYNC. Sidhu.
Yeah, we do have a page. We don't need an app because someone.
They got the page of Sidhu.
Some nutheads in Chennai thought that they would come up with an app. So I was probably just waiting for it to happen. So great. Anyways, jokes apart, guys. It was fantastic talking to you all and amazing to know people. In the end, I think we're all stories, right, of our own. We do, build on a lot of things, and dentistry as a profession is beautiful. That needs to be brought to the forefront, especially when people are looking down upon it. Students are very dismissive of it, and there's a lot of negativity that kya hoga, kya nahi hoga, and all these things. So this is the time where you pull yourself up and you put out stories, and that's been the whole purpose of PhD 101's Rendezvous series, is to engage in casual conversation, put forth, tell stories, capture stories from various aspects, and to give you guys as much as perspective to prosper in your own ways. So thank you so much, Dr. Ayapraj and Dr. Siddharth.
And probably next meeting we'll have all the co-founders of DENSYNC.
Yes.
That's going to be like a very big
very
session.
big. So I'm eager to wait to meet
Arun, Sendur, Walid,
all of them, all of them that you mentioned.
Janani, right? It goes on. The batch of 2005.
Yeah, I think everyone jam-packed in one session, everybody making noise. But then, I think we need that as well, because credit goes to everyone who's built at every stage, right? Because you're only as good as your team, guys. So it's because of your team, you guys, have been able to put this forward and take this forward and things. So definitely, we're going to be planning future sessions. We want the whole team. We'll be very happy to host you guys. And probably very soon we'll catch up, maybe even in Chennai. And finally, those surfboard lessons and skateboard lessons.
Definitely. You just come to call them and I'll take care of everything.
Yeah, right. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, the lovely audience who sat through this. All of the wonderful students here. You could be part of DENSYNC and 101. Everything, it doesn't matter. As long as you add value to the profession, to what we are trying to do and achieve. Awesome, and keep spreading the positive energy. Thank you. Let's call it a wrap, and a happy World Oral Health Day to everybody here. Go have a fantastic session, and good night. Bye-bye. See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.